The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is The Loudness, where our random, rowdy, and raunchy band of misfits create top 10 lists of life's most insane shit. Be scared. Nothing is off limits. So congratulations.
You just made the list!
I'm the music god CJ Plain, and this is the Loud List, and this is take 2. Because for some reason, the last one, the Gremlins just decided they was going to say, fuck you, and you don't get this one. So,
he getting it regardless, you know what I'm saying? Fuck them Gremlins.
say between the two of us, we gonna put this work in. Fuck this. I got 3 computers. I'll switch to a different computer if I got to. Don't want to, but you do what you got to do.
Definitely.
Over here, you're going to hear the voice of this gentleman. His name is Xcursion, lover, lunatic, hip-hop artist, podcast host, pretty much all-around genius when it comes to all things that I love to have on here, man. I love this dude. Closest thing I have to a brother in all regards and respects. So this is, I don't know, probably about his 10th, 12th, 15th, 35th, in the words of Daddy Friday, 35, 45. So for this show, what we started off, video floating around the internet of the little white boy on a cruise ship doing the key sweat thing, which was kind of comical because, key sweat ain't something a lot of older black folks would pull out, let alone little white teenage kids. So
yeah,
thought it'd be kind of cool. We're going to flip the script on this one. And this gentleman over here, instead of doing our typical trope of black comedy or hip hop or whatnot, or the one we're going to do after this, we're going to flip the script and we're going to do the top 15 white people songs that he jams out to. So we'll run it back from the top. Give him your number 15 in explanation of why.
Yes, indeed. Again, here, with it being take 2, none of these are in any particular order. But just to jump into it though, number 15, Scar Tissue by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Now, I did say that they put me on to rock in that first take. I have to correct myself. It was actually Aerosmith that put me on to rock music by way of Walk This Way, their collaboration with Run DMC. Right. But, but in terms of just a pure rock track, like there's no rap artist or any other, country or any other artist from any other genre collaborating and infusing the two styles together. It was Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was the first group that I jammed out to here, to that extent here would would give it away, And then also here to Californication, But Scar Tissue, even above those two or whatnot, because those are very significant to me as well. But this was the first one that, I don't know, like I was just sitting back, just was in a chill mood here, was smoking here too, I remember, watching MTV on the late night. And it just, anything that helps, to contribute to that chill mood and that chill vibe that I have, oh yeah, I'm jamming out to that religiously, And Scar Tissue just happened to pop up at the perfect time. The rest is history. So yeah, Red Hot Chili Pepper, Scar Tissue.
Yeah, I'm down with the Chili Peppers. My introduction to the Chili Peppers was a little more, how do I put this nicely? A little more on the freak side. My first year of college, met this little girlie. We were up in the planetarium. She showed up in the doorway one day, and I guess her friends were over in the gym across the hall, and she heard me playing music, and she wanted to know could I play her CD. They wouldn't play it for her, and I said, "So who is it?" She's like, called Mother's Milk by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Never heard of it. So I put it in. This is the one before the one that had Scar Tissue and all that. And it was when we're still more like a Parliament Funkadelic. Mm-hmm. And I threw it in and I was like, all right, I get down with this. It ain't bad. Got some groove to it. And we hung out for a few minutes. And next thing I knew, the lights were off and door was closed. And well, that's all you're getting.
Exactly.
Apparently, they put her in a mood. And when the mood presents itself, you go with the mood.
Exactly. You do not.
I was 18. I was 18 years old. So But I don't remember who said it first, but the old saying, "You get in where you fit in."
Oh yeah, yes indeed.
Number 14, What you got at 14?
Oh yeah, here. So for number, all right, yeah. So for number 14, you know what I mean? Again, here too, like it was kind of surprising here to me. I'm thinking back to this singer being a Disney actor because, again, you know, I do not consciously pay attention to Disney actors turned musicians. Justin Timberlake slipped through the cracks. And then it also shocked me to find out that she was Hispanic. You know, I learned that on take one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, but either way though, she's a dope singer. You know what I mean? She got many a bangers here, apart from the one I'm about to get ready to mention, and even with the one I'm gonna mention, the beat go crazy. You know what I mean? Loved, you know how she, you know, saying was talking the talk on there, especially on the hook. You know what I mean? Hey, it was just perfect for me here. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I jam out to this one too. Genie in the Bottle by Christina Aguilera.
Trying to find where personal life, early life. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Early life. Born in Ocean Breeze, New York,
Yeah.
to Fausto Wagner, Xavier Alexander. Her father is Ecuadorian,
Oh.
and her mother is German, Irish, Welsh, and Dutch. So, yeah.
Oh, so she a mix of a lot of things.
Yeah.
That is.
But she definitely got that. She definitely got that. Definitely got that Hispanic in her.
Oh yeah, shoot. You said Bronx and the rest was history. You know, said, ah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and her dad was a United States Army sergeant. Mom was a violinist in the American Youth Symphony before becoming a Spanish translator. So, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I've always made the joke. She's the whitest Hispanic white girl in music, but you know, I read somewhere. I thought it was Argentinian, but I guess it's Ecuadorian.
Ecuadorian, okay.
So,
No, I heard Argentinian too, though. So
yeah.
yeah, so, yeah.
All right, number 13. What you got at number 13?
Okay, so at number 13, yeah, I'm going to be embarrassed mentioning this one because I roasted the dog mess out of them when I was younger. I'll still roast the dog mess out of them right now, even having them on my list. I do not care. But, you know what I mean? Even with groups that I don't like, you know what I mean? There's groups that I don't like, there's artists that I just don't like, you know what I'm saying, solo, you know, that will still manage to come off with one. It was like, you know what, you got that, you know what I mean? And that's basically it, you know, as far as they're concerned, you know what I mean? It is the Backstreet Boys, Want It That Way. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys. I've heard a number of real good rock bands that have done real good with that. And before the divorce, my stepdaughter, she was obsessed with this band called Set It Off, and I love Set It Off. And the thing I love about Set It Off is if you listen to Set It Off just on face value,
Yeah.
their boy band is fuck. But they have those like shine down type fucking guitars. So they got that, you know, why worry when you need it that way? And they got that fucking pop singing, but they've got the fucking guitars in the background and those hand claps and shit that just make it like a fucking modern rock song, like a Shine Down or a Nothing More or a Paramore or something like that, you know. And when she was listening to them, I was just like, I really shouldn't like these motherfuckers, but their songs are catchy as fuck, bro. Like, you know,
It doesn't know.
So this is sometimes, and Youngblood's the same way. Like when Youngblood come out, I wanted to hate Youngblood. I really did. Like there was just something about his look that I was like, I don't want to like that little motherfucker. But that little bitch, the more he puts out, the more he goes. He's just a bad little motherfucker, bro. Like he is built to be a fucking rock star, man. It's just everything, man. It's just, you know, from collaborating with Denzel Curry on fucking, what was it? Strawberry Lipstick, some shit like that, to, you know, doing the Kiss cover, to fucking, you know, I mean, he's just like, sort of like a modern day David Bowie, man. He's just kind of getting out, carving his own path. He's done all that shit with MGK, however you feel about MGK. You know, he did the shit with Ollie Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon. He, you know, I mean, he's just all over the musical map, man. And it's like, really don't want to like this little motherfucker, but he's so goddamn good. You know, and the boy, he would probably fight me if I ever said something bad about Youngblood. And truthfully, I'd fight myself if I said something bad about Youngblood. But anyways, number 12. before we
All
get
right.
all way off track and completely for the other one.
And
What you got,
love
number 12?
All right, so number 12, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I've always been familiar with them, you know what I mean? But I never actually had an opportunity to hear much from them. Like you said, they, every now and again, like, you know, whether I'm working somewhere or I'm at, like, you know, a certain venue out in a certain city or whatever the case may be, and you know, we get into like music conversations. This group, you know what I'm saying, you know, we'll just, you know, we'll be mentioned by name, you know what I'm saying? But even with the few times I heard them being mentioned, I never had an opportunity to actually hear any of their music until sure one day after talking with a producer out in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, named well, rapper slash producer named Kendrick Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kendrick Spirit, Skyscrapers. But anyway, you know what I mean? And he played me this beat or whatever that sampled, you know what I mean, a song from them. I went back to the original song, loved them ever since. And that song is Soldier Side by System of a Down.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome to the Soldier Side, where there's no one here but me.
Yeah, System of a Down, man, is a great example of a band that just has carved their own unique path, you know, sound wise of rock and just, you know, he almost does sort of a scat style in some of his singing, which is again, it's a, you know, it's one of them art forms that people think is easy to do, but it's really, there's a technique to it. There's a reason there's only been a handful of people, Scatman Jones and Eiffel 65, and you know, there's only a handful of people that have ever been successful. Harry Belafonte, you know, of doing that sort of scat style successfully, because it's not as easy as you think it is. You know, Cab Calloway was the one who made it famous. You know, Cab Calloway had I can't even think of the name of the goddamn song now. Yaddy yaddy yaddy.
Oh, that
Yaddy yo.
Hidey, 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 ho.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know what song you're talking about, but I don't know if that's the name of it, Hidey Ho, or something else.
It's gonna bug me now because Minnie the Moocher.
Okay.
That's what it was. Minnie the Moocher. You know, Cab was the one who could really do it, like, you know, with that, because Cab had that big voice, and Cab, you know, he did quite a bit. So number 11 in this list, because there's a couple on here that I you know, there's a few I expected to hear, but there's a couple that kind of didn't expect at all. So I'm here for it.
I know that's what's good. Yeah, man. But yeah, for number 11, this is another Disney actor turned singing that again. Well, this one I didn't pay attention to at all, especially with all the wild stuff you know said that she been doing here. You know, saying making headlines for, but she wound up popping up because one of my best friends wound up sending me this song one day when we were exchanging music back and forth to each other. And it stuck with me. You know what I mean? I will shoot anything that she sends to me sticks with me. That's bestie. But anyway, this one here is called Adore You by Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus, okay. Well,
yeah. It shocked me too. You know, I wasn't expecting to hear a Miley Cyrus song that I fucks with, but here we are.
No, I started typing Britney Spears because you said antics, and I don't know.
Oh, no. Well, you remember
so what song was it by Miley?
For announcing she was pansexual. Huh?
What song by Miley?
Adore You.
Adore You.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was expecting Britney because you said Disney and then you said something and I was like, yeah, that's Britney.
Well, Miley Cyrus didn't make as many headlines, but she made a few of her own.
Normally, when you say Disney and antics together, it's just immediately.
Oh no, she is the poster girl for that. Yes. No. So I feel.
So all right, number 10.
All right, number 10.
Let's get into the top 10.
Yes, indeed. Oh man, number 10. My God. Now he done got compared to Adele. You know, what I'm saying like the male Adele. I mean, like, I kind of see where they're coming from with that, but fuck that. I just say he in his own lane. I first heard him on that song, I'm Only Human After All. And that is one of the songs I jam out here too as well. But no, the more I dug into his catalog, the more it's like, okay, no, that's just the tip of the fucking iceberg. But the one that made the list, even above Human, is called What Do You Believe by Rag and Bone Man.
That's a bad motherfucker.
Hell yeah, man. I thought he was black when I first listened to him.
No, he's a white English dude.
Yeah, from the UK, yeah. And he rap. He rap
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's I love that choice. I did not expect that at all. Like Rag & Bone Man is somebody that you don't hear a lot of people talk about. Who Rag & Bone Man is every bit as talented as Teddy Swims without
Yes.
getting any of the recognition. Like he's
And
and then the
honestly,
fact that he
that's
looks like a big ass Amish dude.
Hold on, man. Who look like the Amish dude?
Rag & Bone Man.
Okay, but yeah, he do. He do. That's real.
Yeah, like the first time I saw him singing that I'm Only Human, he had the hat on and that beard, and I was like, oh, the fuck Amish people start doing some goddamn Teddy Riley type shit, like
for real. And I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna hold you about this. When I seen that Human video, I did get a little bit of beard envy because it's like, yo, man, like, nah, that's how I want my beard to look like, right? Or whatever. And I still got this little shit. I mean, like, my goatee growing a tad bit, so we might get there. Go ahead.
No, I'm with you. Like, it's, all my shit, you can't even barely see my shit because my shit turned white and it just blends in with my face now, Like it just disappears, like.
Hey, I got you.
Like I earned this gray hair, bro.
Hey, some of that. And listen, I got a few coming in here now. You know what I'm saying? You just can't see it now because it's still somewhat low. But yeah, I got a few of them coming, and I done earned every last one of them that I got.
All right, number 9.
All right, so number 9. Oh man. Oh yeah, another one that I didn't even know was originally made by a white person or group. You know what I'm saying? Because it then got covered by so many black singers. Like once I found out who the original artist was, I had to put respect on him. You know what I mean? And put him up here because shoot, I for sure jammed out to him every time I heard they song being sung by somebody else. When Angie Stone covered it, I jammed out to that. When the Isley Brothers covered it, I jammed out to them. You know what I mean? So hey, again, shoot, they wasn't the original ones apparently. So let's just get back to where it came from. Simply Red, Holding Back the Years. I'll keep hold on.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Technically, if you want to go by what the internet is saying right now, with Gingers being black,
you know what? You're right.
He a redhead like a motherfucker. So technically, he white as fuck.
You know what? We might have to take that off then.
No,
I'll come up with a replacement now. Don't play with me.
It's cool, but I'm just saying it was. It's a little bit of wiggle room on that one because Simply Red.
Yeah, true. True.
He Irish white, but he redhead. Motherfucker. So
sure. Matter of fact, while we going there, you know what I'm saying? We got the guy that sang Play That Funky Music, White Boy. I'm gonna need for him to fix that.
Yeah, that was Wild Cherry who did that song. Let's go. Number 8. What we got at number 8?
So for number 8, oh yeah, this one was another one that I've always rocked with him anyways, but like it kind of surprised me seeing that this song by him was sampled by so many people in the R&B hip hop world. Carl Thomas, Emotional. I think the remix, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He definitely sampled it though. I don't know if just I'm Emotional was like, I don't know if it was the original I'm Emotional or the remix that sampled it. But either way, he definitely sampled that. Nas, The Message, you know what I mean? So on and so forth. I vibe out to both of them. But then I'm gonna even tell you, like I heard it working at work. You know what I mean? Like, just working the dining area or whatever like that, making sure that's clean and kept up and so on and so forth. And I heard the beat, I heard the hook, and I'm over here listening, and now I'm already locked in because I'm, because I recognize the beat. And I recognize the hook, like the verse or whatever like that, and leading into the hook, da-da-da. Anyway, to cut to the chase here, because I done rambled on long enough. Sting, Shape of My Heart. Oh, that's not the shape of my heart. That's my
Sting is cold.
Yes. Yes, he is.
What's that one time? Fortress Around My Heart is another one of his songs that I always like, it's got that hook in it that I just love to sing badly. So number 7.
So number 7. All right. Number 7. Oh shit. I love this group. Love them. Hotel California by the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like, I love the storytelling tracks. You know what I mean? Like, he over here riding out, especially when they got symbolism to them. You know what I mean? So just even hearing about, like you said, even what he was speaking on here as he was telling the story, right down to the story itself at face value. You know what I'm saying? I loved all the nuances behind that one. You know what I mean? So yeah. That one, the one for me. Go ahead.
So the funny thing about that song, there is no actual meaning to the song. Don Henley has said he wrote it to be ambiguous for people to interpret it whatever way. Some people think it's about drugs, some think it's about mental illness, some think it's about this, that, or the other thing. And he said he wasn't thinking about any of those things, that it was meant to be ambiguous so that people could take their own
interpretation of it.
So to me, it sounds like it's a song about mental illness, you know, on a dark desert highway.
Who went in my head?
Yeah. And then, you know, they talk about
and then being prisoners, you know, trapped in our own device
of their own mind, stabbed it with their steely knife, but they just can't
kill the beast.
Basically what you would be describing like a lobotomy.
Yeah.
Stab it with their steely knives, but they can't kill the beast, which is, it would be schizophrenia, is why they would give you a lobotomy. Even though
check out any time you like, but you can never leave.
Never leave. Yeah. So I mean, but it's also fits for drug addiction. It's from the drug addiction, you know, you check out anytime you want, but you never leave. You're always going to be an addict. So he's right in the fact that it is ambiguous. The record cover, it's, you know, it's one of the most famous record covers of all time, because there was an actual Hotel California, and it was known for raging parties, orgies, drug parties, that kind of shit. So, you know, I mean, it was sort of one of them things. It's still around today, under a different name and different things. But yeah, I'm a huge Eagles fan. So especially Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh he's one of them underrated guitar players. And here recently, you saw the pictures when we went to see Bret Michaels. Don Felder, who is one of the guys who actually wrote the song, he wrote the musical part.
Okay.
He was one of the opening acts, and he sounds just as damn good now as he did 40 years ago, you know, and it just goes to prove that, you know, the Eagles really were a juggernaut. There wasn't one singer. Every single person in that band sang. Every single person in that band could play a different instrument, you know. So they were talented on levels that other bands weren't. When you hear, you know, Seven Bridges Road, where they just had very few instruments and it was just them doing the a cappella thing, you know, their voices were phenomenally matched for the different ranges. You had the bass, the baritone, the tenor, you know, to where it all kind of flowed together in that sort of a cappella style. So, you know, when they did songs like Hotel California, Life in the Fast Lane, Desperado, you know, whether it was Glenn Frey singing, whether it was Joe Walsh singing, whether it was, you know, Don Henley singing, they were always good songs. It was never any bad songs, regardless of who it was that was doing it, which is why, you know, they've stood the test of time and still command their ticket prices are fucking outrageous.
Oh, no,
$100 for a fucking ticket to see them bastards now. So enough about the Eagles. Number 6.
No, number 6 here, I would put, let me see. Number 6 is going to have to go to another singer like Rag and Bone Man, who I initially thought was black until I actually saw his face. But he's another one who I can't really say I've heard a lot of covers for, but people have definitely sampled him. You know what I mean? Or covered him on like a hook, to say the very least. You know what I'm saying? If nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Tupac prime example. It is Bobby Caldwell's What You Do for Love.
I knew he was going to pop in there sooner or later.
Yeah. I said, even though it ain't in any specific order, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to play with the top 5, you know, to say the very least. Yeah.
Bobby was one of them dudes. Bobby Caldwell and Leon Sayers were two white boys who, they had that soul. They had that New Orleans soul in the man. And, you know, if you didn't look to see, you would have easily mistaken them for being in that group with, you know, Teddy Pendergrass and Marvin Gaye. So, but yeah, Bobby especially. Bobby had soul. You know?
Man. Like, I don't know.
Bobby had the kind of soul you can't teach to people. You know,
Exactly.
like
Go ahead.
you hear some white boys that are soulful, but you can tell they've had singing lessons or they've had, you know, this or that, to where Bobby just had that sort of natural.
Yeah, that homegrown, but right.
Yeah.
You said Bobby.
I think
You said
Bobby was a
Bobby.
reincarnated slave or something. You know, like
Man,
he had too
yo,
much soul to
Bobby,
be a pure white boy.
real like yo, Bobby Caldwell had Bobby Womack potential. Like you said, like I don't
Yeah.
know how he was as a person, but if he really wanted to, like you said, to be on the type of savagery that Bobby Womack was on, especially with the women, he could have definitely did it. Cause I can only imagine, you know what I'm saying, like you know what I'm saying, how many females would not rock to his music, white and black. Oh,
Man, he just died. I thought he died a long time ago.
Bobby Caldwell.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought he died like years ago. He just died like 2 years ago.
oh, damn.
Okay.
Good to see that he lived this long. Well, sure, rest in peace.
Yeah. He was 71 when he died. Shit.
Right,
Go on with your bad self.
right. Hey, some of that.
Number 5. I'm still
All
waiting for a
right.
couple. I'm still waiting for a couple names to pop up just to see if they're kind of in your radar or orbit.
Okay, all right, most definitely. Yeah, number 5. So he's one that I've always rocked with or whatnot. Like, you know, even as a kid, I just never knew who exactly he was until I finally decided to search up the lyrics. Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can feel it go tonight.
I'm gonna say that's a universal one. I don't know
Yeah.
anyone, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, otherwise. When that song comes on, you turn that motherfucker up and you got to do that drum solo, man.
Oh, yes.
You know
Yes,
what I'm
indeed.
saying? Like,
You want a block party to where you can mix everybody in there, play that song. Go ahead.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I had an occasion one time. We were in the car. There were 6 of us in the car, and that came on the radio, and 5 of us did the drum solo, and the other dude just sat there. And we had to pull that motherfucking car over because he had to get the fuck out the car. Like, look, you got to walk, homie.
Yeah.
Are you
Straight
serious? Like, look,
Yeah, motherfucker. You better get an Uber or a Lyft or something and shit, because you ain't not riding in this bitch no more.
there are 2 universal music rules.
What's that?
1, when In the Air Tonight comes on, everybody does the drum solo.
And
Number,
it is
when Bohemian Rhapsody comes on, that middle section hits, you got to bang your motherfucking head, you know, World style, you know. You know, come on.
yeah, like Beavis and Butthead.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you can listen to Bohemian Rhapsody or In the Air Tonight and not do the whole air guitar vocal thing, you just ain't human to me. You can't be around me. Like, I don't need that kind of negative energy in my motherfucking car. Like, you got to walk. Here, I'll give you bus money. You know, here's dollars, take the bus. Like, but you can't be in my car. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, real talk.
Number 4.
All right, so number 4, again, like you said, these ones, like, yeah, they're pretty much like staples to me. You know what I mean? So ain't really too much of an explanation behind them. Other than, like, you know, either I found out who the artist was behind the song or whatever the case may be on that end. But this next one, no, I will give the backdrop on how I found out who the artist was behind the song. I heard the song long time ago, you know, as a kid. Loved it. Just didn't know who the hell it was. You know what I mean? Fast forward, Mac from No Limit puts out Shell Shock. And on Shell Shock, there's a song called Be All You Can Be. Fiends on the Hook. I say, all my soldiers in the street. Life ain't always guaranteed. Some of this ain't for you and me. But it's a ghetto war to be all you can be. And he over here sounding like the saxophone on this song. I'm like, okay, man, no, who the hell is this? And once I found it out, I downloaded it, you know what I'm saying, and been just vibing to it here ever since. George Michael, Never Gonna Dance Again.
Yeah, George is another one that he had that soul, man, that, you know, you can't teach. Like, he was, you know, George is just, no matter what you think of what you thought of his politics or his lifestyle or anything else, man, George was, you know, he was a good guy, supported charity, did his own thing, and boy could sing. You know, it just he was one of them dudes who, you know, went from singing dumb songs like "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go" to, you know, "Careless Whisper" and, you know, "Never Gonna Dance Again" and just so many other great songs that were just, you know, So definitely agree with George Michael's.
Yeah.
So number 3, let's get your top
Number 3. Yeah, the top 3. First and foremost, word to every artist out there that has at least one song dedicated to women, who are of the gluteus maximus community. You know what I mean? Like, you make this world spin. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, hey, salute to every last one of y'all. It's too many of y'all to name. So I'm not even going to do all that. Y'all know who y'all is. And I rock with y'all. But anyhow, with them, now, shoot, I've been rocking with them for a minute here. You know what I'm saying? But I did not know. See, this one slipped between the cracks here too, as far as, me recognizing that it was them that did it. Because like even with the music that I hear from them, I only hear from them sporadically. So it's like, okay, I'll hear something like, oh shoot, that's dope. Who was that? Oh, them? Oh, makes sense. Da da da. That's always like my track record when it comes to them. So with that being said, without further ado, Fat Bottom Girls, You Make the Rockin' World Go Round by Queen. Yeah, you gonna let it all hang out. You make the rockin' world go round.
Freddie, man. Freddie was next to Prince, probably the greatest. Well, along with, you know what? I'm not going to say next to Prince. I'm going to say along with Prince, down the top best 2 musical entertainers of any lifetime. I'll put those 2 against anybody else you can name. It's that simple. You put Freddie and Prince as a group, and you try to name me 2 other musical entertainers who match them in power, style, and just pure audacity to do whatever the fuck they wanted, when they wanted, at their whim, and you won't come close. Now, you could say Frank Sinatra, you could say Tony Bennett, you could say Little Richard, Boy George, blah, 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 but they just simply ain't on that level of what Freddie and Prince were. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the only one that I would put there would be Michael Jackson. That's it.
Exactly. Michael would be up there. Michael would be up there as an entertainer as well. But another
the
person
only
to go
one.
with Michael.
Oh, no, hell, that's the thing. There ain't no other person. It's
That's
just
what I'm
them 3.
saying. So, Prince was just Prince, and Freddie was just Freddie.
Yeah.
To where what made Prince and Freddie so unique, even above Michael, was the complete disregard for genres. Prince went heavy rock, funk, soul, hip hop, blues to piano ballads. Freddie went from classical music to Broadway to hard rock to pop music to synthwave to soundtracks, just out of whatever he wanted, and that's what set them apart, was the fact that you didn't know what the hell they were going to do next,
Right.
So, you had to know. People that say, working for Prince was the hardest job in the world. Well, hell yeah, because you didn't, how much you prepared, you never knew what that man was going to do next.
Exactly.
You never could prepare for Prince, There
ain't no preparation.
That's what I'm saying. And Frank Zappa was the other one. Zappa never played the song same way twice, ever. That was his thing. So the people that played with Frank Zappa, they say he only played with the best musicians in the world, where he had to, because he never played the same song twice the same way. So every time you walk the stage with Frank Zappa,
you got to be flexible.
You didn't know what he was going to do, because he didn't know what he was going to do.
Right.
He didn't know what he was going to play until he played it. He just made it up as he went. You had to have the ability to follow him at that exact moment.
Man, and for you to be able to do that, go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. So you had to be a bad motherfucker to play with Zappa, because you didn't know where Zappa was going to go, but you had to follow him and stay on time, stay in rhythm, stay on beat,
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do, man. Like, musicians are trained to practice. And in practice, you learn, you learn timing and all of that shit. So when you got a motherfucker who's just going to walk on stage and be like, N.E., follow me, and you know where the fuck this bitch is going to go, you better be damn good and be able to improvise like a motherfucker, because if you can't, you're going to sound like a fucking clown. And, there's a reason that Zappa's band produced some of the best musicians in the world. Mike Kinnelly, Steve Vai, Dweezil Zappa, Adrian Belew. No, I mean, there's a dozen of the guys that played with Zappa who are considered to be the best of the best in the world at what they do, because their iron was sharpened by a guy who was an absolute freaking madman when it comes to music, you know. So number 2.
All right, yeah. So number 2 here, I would say for number 2, they were so nice. I had to put in twice. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away. And again, like, I'm giving them this here because, again, like, not only do I like Red Hot Chili Peppers here, just as a rock group, they're definitely in my top 5 in rock groups. This is the one that introduced me to them. You know what I mean? I played this in the same way that I play Time for Some Action by Redman. You know what I mean? Like, it's, they just, they introduced themselves to me as a rambunctious ass group. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what more rambunctious, assertive, wild ass way, to tell a girl, hey, give me some nah, other than, like this heavy rock ass song here, give it away. You know what I mean? So, hey, I fucks with it, Red Hot Chili Peppers, give it away.
Yeah, like I said, I already told my Chili Pepper story, so I don't need to repeat myself.
No, I feel it.
I guess that brings us to number 1. So far we got the Chili Peppers, Christina Aguilera, Backstreet Boys, System of a Down, Miley Cyrus, Rag & Bone Man, Simply Red, Sting, Eagles, Bobby Caldwell, Phil Collins, George Michael's, Queen, and the Chili Peppers. And I have not heard one of the names I was really expecting to hear. So we'll see if he's number 1. And if he's not, he's not. But he's just one of them people that I could see you jamming out to. Maybe he just didn't pop into your head at the time. But who is your number 1?
Okay, and after I mention my number 1, I'll go and get just let me know like who the person was. Because you might still be right. And again, this the number 1 ain't really number 1 because I feel he's number 1. Right. And again, this was in no particular order. But but this was the first song that popped up. And I can even point that to recency bias. Chris Stapleton, Tennessee Whiskey. You're as smooth as
so 2 things about this song. 1, it's a cover song. It was originally performed by David Allan Coe.
Gotcha.
Chris does a much better version of it. And when Chris hit with this song, I laughed because I've been a fan of Chris for 10 years before he hit. Chris was a bluegrass singer in a band called the Steel Drivers and had won tons of awards with the Steel Drivers. Now, his vocal approach was exactly the same. It was just more bluegrass, but it had that soul to it. And I always thought Chris Stapleton at some point is going to do a mainstream record because his voice was just too goddamn soulful to do just bluegrass. So when he announced that he was leaving the Steel Drivers, I was kind of like, okay, this is going to be his break, So he did that record, put it out. Everybody jumped on the bandwagon, where'd this guy come from? And I'm like, dude been around a decade, man. He'd won like a dozen ICBA, International Contemporary Bluegrass Awards. He'd won a dozen awards playing bluegrass music and a hell of a guitar player on top of being a singer. So it was kind of funny that when that song was released and everybody caught on to it, it was the same with Jelly Roll. Jelly's blowing up now, but Jelly was a hip hop dude for fucking 15 years before he ever did any country shit and caught on, So there's those of us that are like, okay, country Jelly is cool. But what do you know about trap house Jelly? Like, back in the day, Antioch, Tennessee at the trap house, So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm good with Chris. Like, I like Chris. Chris is an incredible singer. And so the one that wasn't on your list that kind of surprised me was Meatloaf.
Oh, okay. Now what did he sing?
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Bad Out of Hell.
I don't.
Too bad.
No, I heard that I'll do anything, but I won't do that song. No, I do remember that one.
You probably know a ton of the Bad Out of Hell songs too. Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Yeah.
Meatloaf is one of them dudes who you don't think about a lot, but when you hear his songs, you're kind of like, oh,
You know what? And that you're right. You know what I'm saying? Just like I even mentioned with Queen. You know what I'm saying? So like, no, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct with that. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm familiar with him too, and I do jam out to him as well. But like for that same reason I mentioned with Queen, that's the only reason he didn't make the list. That's it.
The other one that I was sort of expecting to hear, Huey Lewis and the News. Because Huey,
okay.
you know, if you've ever listened to Huey, Huey is a lot like Reagan Bowman. Like he's a rock and roll dude, but he's a North Philly soul type of dude. He's a soulful motherfucker when you listen to him sing, man.
I gotta hear him.
He's the one who did like Heart of Rock and Roll, Heart and Soul.
Oh,
what was the other one?
you got Heart of Rock and Roll?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah. The one.
Okay, I did hear him. Yes.
Yeah,
no, he's another dope one. Yes.
Or I Need a New Drug. I need a new drug.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they you know, they had the whole thing in American Psycho, the movie about where he puts Huey Lewis on and shit.
No, I got you. But no, he's dope
Huey,
too.
you know, a lot of people know Huey as a rock singer, but Huey, there's a lot of shit on Huey Lewis and the News records. It's soulful as a motherfucker. Like he's a slick dude. Like he can sing he can sing in that old sort of that, you know, that Philly soul type of style. So I was sort of expecting something from him maybe, but it's cool. I mean, it ain't a bad thing one way or another. It was.
Oh no, for sure.
I will give you huge credit on the Chili Peppers and the System of a Down thing. Phil Collins, I kind of expected that one. I expected the Queen one a little bit. Something by Queen. Wasn't sure if it was going to be Fat Bottom Girls, if it was going to be whatever, but you know.
I fuck with Queen across the board. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a discussion recently about, you know, talking about the big booty girls. We were doing a bracket, and of course Sir Mix-a-Lot was on there with, you know, his one song, and I was like, you know what the damn shame is everybody listens to that song, but he's actually got a better song about girls with big butts. And the old dude was like, what is it? I said, it's a song called Buttermilk Biscuits. And I was like, Buttermilk Biscuits is the one, like you throw that on at a party. That's like all the old dudes, the old cats, the house party cats are gonna know Buttermilk Biscuits.
What that is.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I said, that's the one. I said, I remember parties in college. They throw that song on and all the girls got up and wanted to shake their ass, bro. And it was like, yeah, that's the one. You know.
Right.
That one and Young MC. Young MC was another one that, you know, when that song came on, all the girls wanted to dance. It was like, yeah, that's a jam.
You know what I mean?
So, all right, that's the top 15 white people songs loves to sing, jam out, or just crank up. We're going to wrap this one up because we got another one to record tonight. As always, you know what we do here. Be well, treat each other with kindness. Remember, no matter what you're going through, music heals, and happy Father's Day to all the dads.